video tutorial, where in this video we're looking at another past paper question. Now this question is taken from the year May-June 2026, and this is building and mechanical engineering drawing, option A, mechanical engineering drawing, and this is a unit 1 paper 2. All right, now in the previous video we did question 1, which was a crank loci mechanism, and in this video tutorial we're looking at part 2, which is question 2 of this 2026 paper. Now as you can see here, it says figure 2 shows the 3 components of a V clamp with each part labeled 1, 2, and 3. As you can see here, 1, 2, and 3. Now here's what it wants us to do. Draw the clamp assembled in orthographic projection showing at least 6 dimensions, and this is valued at 20 marks. Now for some reason it feels as if I have drawn this already. I'm wondering. It looks similar to the TD 2026 paper. So this is what we're going to be producing now. So let's make our way over to AutoCAD, where we will produce this drawing. In AutoCAD, where we have copied an image of our given question that we're going to be generating our orthographic view from. Now for this, I think I might just do everything. I'll do the plan view, the front view, as well as probably the right or the left view. All right, so let's get things started because the time is limited. So I'm going to be drawing it in stages. Now the first part that I'm going to be drawing is the front view, and the front view of the V block here. So this is part number 1. So that's what we're going to be drawing. All right, so let's get things going. All right, so let me go to my object layer, and I'm going to draw a line to represent all of this here. So the overall thing is, I believe it's based on what we're seeing here, is 80. So I'll enter 80. All right, then it goes up in the here by 16. Then it goes in by, let me see if we're seeing it. Not seeing how much it goes in by, or maybe I'm not seeing it as it. For now, I'm going to leave that out. All right, and then move on to something else. I'll draw up the other side as well. Let me turn on OSnap here. So up again, 16. All right, wonderful. The other gap that is there, as you can see here, so I can show you, this gap within here is actually 12 millimeter. The only thing is that we don't know how far in it goes. All right, so that's something that we'll have to decipher at a later date. But it looks like a perfect square, so maybe it's also 12. So I'm just going to go ahead and just jump the gun and then draw that 12 as well. So go in 12, and then go up 12, and then back out 12, and then I'll do the same thing on the other side, but I don't need to. I'll just mirror this here to the other side. All right, no, all right, so that's that there. So we can continue with the remaining portion. Now it does not tell us what here is to here, what here is to here, but we know that overall thing is 52. So what I'll do is offset. All right, I'll offset 52, this line here up 52, and then I'll know where everything goes. And now I can easily just draw a line from here to here, and then from here to here. All right, the next thing that I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be doing the little V portion inside here. How do we know how much the V portion is going to be? Now based on what we're seeing here, all right, we know that the center is going to be about 3. All right, the depth of the bottom of it is 20. All right, cool. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to be putting a little reference line in the middle here. All right, right in the center. All right, and I'm going to be offsetting that line to get what I need. All right, you could have used other technique, but I'm just going to do that for this here. So I'm going to go offset, and I'm going to enter 30 on either side of this line here. All right. Now, once that has been done, I'm going to do the same thing for the middle portion, which is down here. The thickness of it is 3, this 20 here. All right, so the bottom of it. So I'm going to offset 1.5 on either side of this line. So offset 1.5 on either side of this line here. All right, I'm just going to get rid of this line here for now. All right, the next thing is the bottom of it. The bottom, which is along here from the base up to that point, is 20. So I'll offset the bottom line by 20, 20, just like that. And with that in place, I'm going to do some trimming. So I'll get rid of this here and then here as well. All right, now the next portion that I'm going to be tackling is here. All right, that sloping section. Now the only thing that we're given here is saying that from, what am I looking at here? This is saying 90, but what is it pointing on? I'm guessing between here, this slope line and this line here is 90. So if it's 90, that means that this angled line here is actually 45. All right, so what I'll do is that I'll turn on my what is this one called? Restrict cursor to specify tracking, and I'll select 45. Then I'll activate my line command, and then I'll zoom in a bit, and then from here now I click, and then once I see that green line, I know I'm in the safe. So I'll move my cursor to where I need it to go, then click. And with that, I can fillet the corner. Let me just double check to see that the radius is at 0. And I'll fillet here to here. All right. And I can always just mirror this to the other side. All right. Mirror this to the other side. Let me mirror this. Let me turn on and then find the center and mirror. Let me turn on ortho for this. And then no, and then fillet this corner here. All right, cool. So that is it right there. As you can see, we're basically there. So these two lines are no more. We can now clean out this middle portion here by using the trim command to get rid of there. All right, and with that being the other part, it means that we're finished with the V block section. So let's now draw this portion that is up here. That's this part 2 here, whatever this clamp holder thing here is. We're going to be drawing that. All right, so let's start, get things going. Now we're doing the face. Now it says that the thickness of this here is 8. I'm looking to see how thick here is. All right, so we're going to start with that. So let's go from left to right. I'm trying to find out the thickness of this thing here. It's not giving it to me. So what I'll do, I will start by going up. I'll go up 10 because it says that here is 10. And how much does it go in? I don't know. Not seeing it. So what I might have to do, I have to do some unconventional technique by using reference lines to do whatever I'm doing here. Let me just reference here as well to just draw up here. All right, place this on another layer. Yeah, let's use that one. All right, wonderful. All right, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to offset this line here. Offset to get the outer lines. So I'm going to offset 50 on either side and then 60 on either side. So O, enter 50. 50 and 50 will give me that 100 in width. All right. All right, then I'll offset 30. O, enter 30 to get the inner line. All right. And then what else can I do? We know the thickness of here, so it goes in by 8. So if I offset these lines here inwards by 8, I'll get the thickness. So O, enter 8. All right, wonderful. All right, cool. Now with that done, what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to just draw a horizontal line across here. I'm not going to connect them as yet. All right, and then I'll probably trim everything that is below. Keep my reference line there in the meantime. Then I'll offset this line here up by 10. So this line will be offsetted up by 10. So O, enter 10. All right, cool. Now with that in place, I can now easily fillet this, and this, and then fillet here to here. All right, and I'll do the same thing for the other side. Well, I accidentally deleted the line or get rid of it. So let me just draw in that there, and then yeah, let's trim. So let's go TR enter and get rid of this, this, and this, and this, and we can also get rid of this as well. All right, so just like that, we have that in place. Now the next portion now is to decipher what's going on up here. Now based on what we're seeing, this curvature portion here, this semicircle, this midpoint is right here. All right, so we need to find that midpoint there. Now that midpoint there is 72 millimeters up from the base. So what I'll do is that, you know what, let me draw a line up from here, the base up by 72. All right, so that's where the center is. Now once I have that there, I'm going to draw a circle. You could have used an arc, with that being the center, and I'll just open my cursor to the end just like that. Once this has been done, I'll go ahead and I'll click on this line and this line here, and then activate my trim command and get rid of the bottom portion like that. All right, now we can do the same exact thing for the inner portion here, or you can just simply offset 8. All right, the option will be yours. All right, and then you do continuous cleaning up by simply getting rid of some of these lines, such as here. If you want to fillet the corners, it's up to you. If you want to trim, it's up to you. All right, let me fillet one side like this, and that should smooth things out right there. All right, fillet this corner as well, fillet this corner as well. All right. All right, wonderful. Now that that is in place, we can now look at this little circular portion. Now from the front view, it's going to look like a rectangle. So that's what we're going to be drawing. So we need to find out some information about it. We know that it is an M12. So it means that the width of it is 12. All right. Based on the angle, the whole is M12. But the overall thing is 20. All right. So that's what we're going to be drawing next. All right. Now, I'm seeing, what's it, R6? That's equal to 12 as well. All right, so we're looking at this. It's saying from the base here, underneath here, where my cursor is, to the top of the round piece there is actually 16. So we're going to start off with that first. So let me just draw a horizontal line across here, and then offset that by 16. So let's go O, enter 16, and then just offset that line up. All right, and then now with our midpoint line here, I'll just extend it up and then offset that by 10 on either side, or enter 10. So yeah, 10. All right, so once we have that there, I'm going to get rid of everything that's below here like this. All right, and I can fillet here to here and here to here. And remember that R6 and the M12 there, that's for the whole inside. Let's look at the curve 12, and you see where the line goes to there and to there. So that's what it's pointing to. So what are we going to do? Let's offset 6 on either side of this center line there that we have. That's this one here, and like that. Okay, wonderful. All right, now once it has been done, it's time to trim. So let's trim away everything that's above here and everything that's below here as well. This line here can go now because we have no further use for it. This line here can go as well. Now here's the other thing. Everything that's below this curvature, everything that's below this curvature must also go. All right, and we're leaving this line here. This line is going to be in detail. All right, let me change the scale of that line. All right, so looks a bit better now. All right, so let's match some properties. So this to that and that. Then now also here and here. No further use for this. Again, match properties for here. All right. Oops. MA, enter. All right, this, and then we change those over. All right, wonderful. Now that that is done, we can move to part number 3. All right, that's this one here. Now it has a break, but it's a lot longer than that. Now, based on the length, so I'm going to center up this again so we can have a little reference line. Let me just change, you know what, I'll keep it. All right, so that is it. Now for the bolt, or this portion here, we're going to be drawing it now by offsetting to either side. All right, now let's first capture the length of it, or the height of it. So I draw a reference line right there, and I'm going to offset this line here up by the overall height of it, which is 128. So let's go offset 128, enter, offset, and offset that up there. Get rid of everything above, for at least for now though. All right, then now we can offset on either side to get the thickness. All right, now based on what we're seeing here, this is an M12 because remember it's going into this hole here, so it has to be 12. So let's offset 6 on either side of this line here. All right, that's the first part, and let's get rid of everything down below here for now so you can see what's going on. Let me paste this on the center there. All right, wonderful. All right, cool. So the next part, which is here, this is the part that we're going to draw next. This part here is actually 8. All right, from here, the base here up is 8, so we're going to do that next. And the diameter of it is 8 as well, so let's do that. So if it is 8, we're going to enter 4. You know what? I know what I'm going to do. So REC, enter, and let's draw a rectangle that is 8 millimeters, tab key by 8 millimeters, and we'll grab this and we'll place it. So we'll move it to here. All right, let's explode this. X, enter, get rid of this line here, and we'll fill it here to here and here to here. All right, wonderful. So the next part is somewhere up here, the edge portion, the thick portion up here. All right, so what is the dimension for it? So it's saying that the overall thing is 15, so that's what we're going to do next. 15. So let's offset 15 off of 15 is 7.5. So we'll offset on this side here and on this side here. Now how tall it is, as you can see from here, follow the line down to here is actually 20. So that's what we're going to do. So let's offset 20. All right, and then now, what's this? Let me delete that and offset the 4. Let's double check. 7.5 offset 7.5. So we're offsetting this line here in 7.5. So let's now do some cleaning up. So we'll fillet here to here and here to here. All right, and then we can easily just trim away here and also inside of here like that. Let's match some properties, get that and that. Okay, wonderful. Now once that is done, you can see that there is some hole inside of this here on the side. So in terms of the dimension for that, I'm not seeing, let me double check. 6 millimeters, and it is 10 millimeter from the base. So let's offset this line here up by 10. Yeah, 10. So offset this line up 10, and then the hole is 6. So let's offset 6 from there. All right, now these lines are going to be in detail. All right, wonderful. Okay, so that is it right there. So all we have to do now is simply put it together. How are we going to do it? I'm just going to move them down. So let me get rid of this. I'm going to draw it back afterwards. All right, so let's go grab onto this. I'm going to group it because that's just how I work. And I'm going to group this as well. All right, and I'm going to group this as well. All right, now so let's now do our stuff. So moving, grab onto it right here, and then place it right here, and then grab onto this and then move it. This one here, we can eyeball it. All right, so probably put it somewhere there. All right, where we have this the shaft passing through, this here we'll change it to in detail. So we'll use here. Let's trim. Here, here. All right. All right, so it will look like that. So that is what it will look like. All right, I'm not drawing anything else because that is all that was given to us. So now we're going to do the side view. All right, or we could do the plan view. The option is totally yours. Let me just go to a layer that I can use for my projection lines. So base. All right, here and here and here as well, and here. All right, cool. So now line, let me just draw a line across here as well. All right, because those are some significant points. All right, so well, basically all of it is significant points, so let me just draw lines across from those as well. So next one will be right here. All right, wonderful. All right, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to draw a vertical line here. All right, and I'm going to offset it to my right by whatever the length of this here is, 100. All right, so let's offset 100. All right, so that's how wide it is. Let's get rid of this line here, tr, enter, get rid of that, get rid of that. That's basically all we need. All right, excluding the in details. All right, in detail or hidden features will be this top one that is right here. Well, a portion of it will be hidden detail, but the main one that you'll see as in detail are here and here, representing those points there. All right, so these will be in detail. Let me place these on the layer. All right, cool. Everything else is good for now. All right, so now we can move on to something else, which is this here. All right, now we're just going to assume that it's in the middle, so we'll just draw something on the middle here and just go all the way up with it. All right, yeah, and we'll offset it. We need to find out first what is the thickness of this here. All right, so let's see if we can find that. Oh, it is actually 20. So if it is 20, what I'll do is that I'll offset 10 on either side of this line here to get that. All right, cool. Should I keep this? Yes, I'm going to keep it for now. All right, now this here will go all the way down to this point. All right, that's how far down it's going to go. Let me go ahead and place these on the object layer that I have here. All right, wonderful. These two lines will be extended all the way down to this point here. So let's go. So we go EX, enter, and send those down like that. All right. So it means that everything that is actually blocking or what it is in front of, these will now become object. We're going to make those in detail as well. So for example, if we'll have to trim this one out and then redraw it and make it in detail as well. So it will look something like that. Likewise here as well. So this is also a hidden feature or hidden portion based on where the slider thing there is. Now the next point now is this here. All right. Now what I'm going to do for this is that I'm going to be drawing a rectangle REC from here to here, and I'll simply move it to right here, all right, to make things simple. And once that is done, I can easily just delete that and make these lines here object. Alright, cool. And now once that has been done, I can trim away everything that's above here. Didn't realize that it's basically the same width. Okay. Alright, cool. Now, once that has been done, the only portion that is remaining is this shaft here. Now, for the shaft here, everything is fairly simple. All we need to do, because it doesn't matter which direction you're looking at it, it's a circular can, so circle, cylinder, shaft, whatever it is. It doesn't matter if you're looking at it from the left, the right, or the front, it's going to look the same way. All right, so all we need to do is copy what we have here. All right, copy what we have here and place it over here as well. So let's move it over. I need something to snap to. So I'll grab onto it right here and then place it right here. All right. Oh, did we move? We move. We should be copying. So let's copy and place it right there. All right. So now we're going to do some modification to this. All right. Now, what are the modifications that I am talking about? So this here, we're going to extend it back up. So let's ungroup it. Ungroup. These will go all the way back up to here. EX, enter. EX. And then let's just extend those up. We're going to have to do this twice. Alright. So that's what it's going to look like. Alright. However, everything that is below this, because remember all of this is blocking it, so it means that everything here is now going to become what? A hidden feature. So we're going to have it as a hidden detail line like that. Wonderful. Everything else remains the same. Now where we have this here, this is not actually going to look like this from this view. It's going to look like a circle. So let me just have a reference line here. And then I'm going to draw a circle within that space like this. Then I'll erase these here, at least for now. And let's paste this on my object layer. No further use for this here. Alright. So that is our right view if you want to think about it like that. So now we can do our plan view. What our plan view is going to look like. All right, our plan view is going to look like, and I'm going to be projecting some lines up. All right, so let me project some lines up for my plan view. Let me just grab onto this here, and I'll make some copies. So from here to here, let's do here as well, and here, and here, and here. All right, so we have most parts. All right, so we're going to be doing the V block portion first. First thing I'm going to do is draw a horizontal line across here. All right, then I'm going to trim away everything that's below here. Then whatever the length of this here is, the length of it is 100, so I'll offset it up by 100. And then I'll trim away everything that's beyond. You know what? TR, enter, get rid of everything up here. Everything to the side, everything to the side, and that is it right there. That's the V block done and dusted. All right, so the next portion that we have to draw is this here. All right, that's this part number 2 on top of it. What will it look like? I might have to do some magic here in a sense, I don't know, and project some lines. All right, let's see. Across here. All right, and let me draw my 45-degree line. All right, wonderful. I don't know if it's equal spot, so let me just ensure that I have my distance correct from here to here. And let's grab onto it like this and move it to the center like that. And let's do the same thing here as well, from here to here. And let's grab onto it and move it, find the center. All right, just like that. All right, wonderful. All right, so now what we're going to do for this portion here is that we're going to be projecting lines. So for example, for here now, we can simply just project a line up. Wherever it touches the horizontal, the diagonal line, sorry, we project a line across from there. So we'll do it for both shoulders, which is here and there. And then now we project a line over from that location. So like that, and all right, like that. All right, cool. Now for the end, let's project a line across from here up, and from here up. So that's where things are going to be. So all we can do here now, maybe we could do like a rectangle. Let me go to my object layer for this, and we'll draw a rectangle across here like this. All right, so it means that everything that is underneath this is going to become an in feature or in detail line. So what are we going to do? Let's just go ahead and trim out everything inside here, and then we'll redraw them. All right, so I'll draw the first one like this, place it on our in detail line. Now, given the nature of what is going on here, I can simply just copy this here and simply paste copies of it at each section here. And that's just because of how things are for this specific drawing. All right, so that is it right there. Now, the next thing that we're going to be doing, because we already have, let me just double check on this here and project a line up from here. Oh, it's basically on the same thing. All right, so we're going to be doing the sharp thing now. All right, what will it look like? It will look like just a circle. All right, so we can project lines up for that there. All right, so line up. Let me go to the layer for my projection lines. So from here up, so that's the wide one. All right, so we need to find out where is the center. So from here all the way up, wherever it touches the diagonal line, which is right there. All right, cool. All right, so the center is going to be right. So this is the center. So if I draw the circle from there to there, all right, that will be the circle. All right, like that. Everything beyond that is below it will become in detail. Then we'll do the 12, which is the smaller one here. Project the lines up. All right, so that's where it stops right there, or that's where it will be. So if we draw another circle from the center, all right, let's paste it on the object layer. No, this will be a hidden feature. All right, wonderful. Then now the hole that is running across it, that's this one here. All right, we can project lines up to ensure that we have the location correct. Up. All right, wherever it touches, then we go across. So it means that the line is going to be across here, and that's going to be a hidden feature. All right, and it will be the same thing for the other side as well. You project the line up, wherever it touches the diagonal line, which is right there, we project a line across. All right, and then now let's see if we can do the same thing and copy this to that location like this. All right, so that is it. So we now have our plan view, rather, our front view and our right view here. The only thing that will be missing is our orthographic symbol, and it asks for 6 main dimensions. So those are what we're going to add now. Let me place these on my construction layer. All right, wonderful. All right, so 6 main dimensions, so that's what we're going to add now. So we're basically going to do some of the things that we saw. So let's go to our dimension layer, and we're going to start dimensioning our drawing. So from here to here, that's 100. All right, what can we do? Let me modify this dimension style here. All right, so we're going to create a new one based on this. Continue. Then we modify. All right, then we change the text height from 20 to 10. Oops. No. Then we set current and then we close. And let's try to redo that. So we'll go now from here to here. All right, looks a lot better now. And then we'll do so. So we have one dimension there. That's the main dimension. From here to here now. That's another one, so that's 2. We're basically copying the dimensions that were given to us. Then we have overall, which is from here to here, so that's 3. And then we have from here to, I believe, the center, which is 72. All right. We can do some other dimensions, such as probably the height here. I don't know. All right. And we can do the width or the thickness of this here. All right, like that. So how much do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 dimensions, and that will be it. All right. I'm not going to stress too much on it. If you want to write the text underneath it to say plan, whatever. But if you add the orthographic symbol, that would be it for this question. Now, if you did anything similar to this, then it means that you would have been getting full marks for this question here, all 20 marks. All right. So only thing that's left for you to do is to what? Sheet your drawing. Let me get this out of the way. All right. Scale. Let's see what 1-to-1 will look like. Because my drawing sheet here is a bit crowded. Because for your laying out, you don't need all of this down here. As long as your name is on the sheet, that's good. But for this, I will have to zoom in around the object. All right, let me just zoom in around it so that everything fits. All right, let me try that again. Top. All right, so there we go. Let's preview what it will look like, and we can always get rid of the construction lines afterwards. Now, based on what we're seeing here, because I'm not a fan of what I'm seeing here with the annotate with the hidden detail lines. Well, yeah, it looks okay. Everything is bold, and then the construction lines are thin, so I guess it's good enough. It's good enough. All right, so that will be it for this video. Don't forget to go ahead, leave a like, share, and subscribe. If you found this video helpful, you can always leave a comment down below in relation to anything that you have questions about. All right, see you in the next one.